The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your lovable, humble, and sweet host, David White. Again, this is the 26th of February, this month coming to an end fairly quickly, of course, the shortest month of the year. And don't you think this should be more of a history month for people that are short, since it's the shortest month of the year? It just seemed to me like if, not the particular term, but I think they want to be called little people now. It used to be midgets, then there's dwarfs. I think there's something actually different between the two of them, but I don't know exactly. But maybe this would be their month. You'd think that the shortest month should be for the shortest people, but I digress. And, of course, we won so many awards for digressing on the show that we don't have room on the mantle anymore. And, of course, we're seeing a market out here that is extremely interesting, at least to me. This morning we saw a lot of action. At least on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape, I noticed that they yanked it. It didn't come back until way after 11:30. And now we are getting a volume, 2.3 billion shares, but it certainly looks to me like we saw a lot of push up there at the top and not enough volume to get this thing going. Trading out at 1846.73, and they're going to make us shorts pay for this. We're not going to. It's not going to be easy. I got to get that. I got to get that clip. Maybe the engineer can actually get that clip. From Proud Mary. We don't like to do things easy. What was that gal's name? I'm trying to remember. I bet everybody in the den knows. Ike and Tina Turner. It was Tina Turner. Proud Mary. We don't like to do things easy. And the market's not letting us go easy into that good night either. So we'll be looking at it. But certainly not enough volume to blow out the highs just the last few minutes. Pulled back fairly succinctly. And I thought if this was the day that they could get this market going, it would be today. That we're pretty much flat, that the VIX has been up all day long, although the market was higher. It gives me a lot of belief that maybe we are going to see a break before the end of the day. Seeing a ton of stocks also giving what looks to me like a blow-off top. In many of the stocks, not only that I'm short, but just ridiculous rumors out here today. We'll get into them later. As always, we like to start off the show as soon as possible with a little history. Of course, in this day in 1995, Barron's Bank, one of the oldest and most distinguished investment banks in the world, declares bankruptcy after rogue trader Nick Leeson loses more than $1.4 billion on unauthorized trade and apparently unsupervised. How no one has any kind of checks, and they still don't. I'm pretty sure that there's always this kind of thing where if you come back and make a lot of money, I'm going to be very happy. And if you come back and you lose money, we're going to put you in jail. But these trades were in Japanese stock futures in the mid-'90s. Talk about getting fried. But, of course, great deal on whether or not he was truly unauthorized, whether someone actually told him to do this, whether he was just a scapegoat. He got out of jail several years ago, but pretty much ruined his life and probably wouldn't have made a lot of difference in what he made. And that's why I always wondered whether or not they were just looking the other way. There is a noted business professor at the University of Kansas City whose name just happens to be Black, so I always remember his name, where he basically goes through and says exactly what I thought, which is that for the most part, these folks tend to be somewhat problematic in telling the truth about what they had, and they'll go throw a big bet against the wall and see if it sticks. If not, an underling ends up taking the fall for it. So anyway, as you may have noticed if you're watching on Tiger TV, you get to watch my smiling face and some others very soon on this. And that we come through the magic of ether and webcams, so you'll be able to see maybe when I'm a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, which maybe it's not easy enough. I probably should make it easier to let people know when I'm kidding. But yeah, Netflix, Athia on both 3 gap plays. Yes, and Expedia can be a 3 gap or 2. May have just hung us out here for a while. So anyway, we'll go through some of that stuff today. Not a great deal of news going on, but we'll go ahead and check. And that's pretty much it for the snooze today. Probably the most interesting thing to TFNN listeners is, at least on the COMEX, gold fell $14.70 to $13.28, kind of the first day down in a while. Pretty much trading off, $14.30 on the other contract that's trading now. And of course, we're watching this market continue a little bit down. Some people in the den are talking about using the all crash dive signal, but I think we'll have to wait just a little bit. Maybe we get below 1840 on the S&P cash, and maybe those sound effects would be better used then. But do I actually have them? Oops, I think I have all those sound effects, but I'm trying to remember what I've done with them. I wanted to do some Ghostbuster ones yesterday when we heard that Harold Ramis had passed, but that's it. Anyway, why don't we get into some charts here. Earlier in the show, they have been disabled by your moderator. Okay. Okay, first question out there, and of course you can always email me at path@tfnn.com, and we'll try to answer your questions. In fact, I'm going to pull up my email now and set it off to the side. But I had a first question on, why don't we go to Expedia, EXPE. This thing, pretty much a 3-gap play if we go back a little bit farther in time. There's lots of these. Normally they fall apart, though, right when and right after they make the 3rd gap. Certainly you can see it in Expedia. I've got a white paper somewhere on TFNN about what you should look for these. Probably one of the better looking 3-gap plays out here. But, yeah, you'd really want to be watching most of these that could be considered that. Netflix also is one, and but that thing has gone up a lot higher. ATH, and I hadn't looked at this one yet as a possible 3-gap play. You kind of like to see, this is almost like one gap into another. The only other thing I'd say is that you like to see 3 distinct gaps. Not that this isn't a 3-gap play, but I just don't know how one gap going into yet another gap ends up working out over time. I have seen a few of these, like Netflix, like Expedia, that have gapped up and continued to move, and yes, they have eventually failed. And the problem is just how long can you remain short, why they continue to run a stock up on nothing. But we'll take a look at it. And I got some email when we'll talk about probably right after the break, after I get a chance to read it, because I've got my inside source going on, looking for some answers about some stuff going on in the market. Let's look at some charts here fairly quickly and bring up, I wanted to look at IBM. I saw that they were making a little noise over in the conference, but one thing that really had me thinking about this again is as this comes back into the gap, That gap occurred on the 22nd of January, down 13.8 million shares. And we've had this thing kind of bubbling along the side out here, and probably going to come in with a lighter volume yet again today on IBM. But a little bit of news, mostly about them pushing the Watson project or product. For those not familiar with it, this is the computer system that understands natural language. And if you ask it a question on Jeopardy, it can probably beat most of the people out there by looking at the internet and looking at the context of the question. So finally getting some what they called artificial intelligence years ago up to speed, but both better voice recognition. Right now, from IBM's discussion of it, they've got it reduced now to 3 pizza box-sized devices. So presumably they'd go in a 19-inch rack mount panel and probably take up about half of a 6-foot rack mount panel. So about 3 foot square on all sides, maybe 4 foot square. Yeah, well, those 19-inch racks. But interestingly enough, this thing is right up there. But boy, I tell you what, this is just about like everything in the market. Either they're blowing off tops with no volume, or they're coming back and filling gaps with no volume, or they're testing highs with no volume. And we've seen this market continue to pull back a little bit, and we'll continue to watch it. But that was one I wanted to look at. Google was another. Some of these things have been hanging out up here just on very light volume. Hopefully we've got Google here in a second. And see, this is all one big rigged market. Well, it's always been rigged. Nothing new on here. Google, I've been waiting for it as probably the leader of all these stocks to show any sign of really rolling over here. And it's been tough. There are a great deal of these stocks that are just doing this. And we talked about the whole fifth wave thing and what happens when these things break. And I think you could make a great case that this is a fifth wave in Google from that gap up at 900. And it's tough to say that you wouldn't get at least all or most of that gap from just under 900 up to 980 filled out here, but no real signs other than just depressively low volume from back at the beginning of February. Each day this seems to come in lower and lower. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648, or you can email me at path@tfnn.com. And we'll be talking this we'll get back in just a minute. I got an email from a friend here. We'll read it on the air.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the signal box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
But there's just one thing, you see, we never ever do nothing nice and easy. We always do it nice and rough. We're gonna take the beginning of this song and do it easy, but then we're gonna do the finish rough. It's the way we do Proud Mary. Rolling, rolling.
Yeah, and this market is not going to do it. The last time we went short, or last time I went short, last month, it was easy. But now they're going to make it rough on us. They're going to make it tough on us. Not going to make it easy to hold our shorts. And, of course, that's when probably the biggest moves come. They don't make it easy on you. The market doesn't make it easy on you. But we've got a few questions. Looking at GMCR, and I don't think there's any way to make a play on this right now. It does look like it would be short. See, Wayne asked about two stocks. The problem is that I imagine there are people still short this thing, and it's probably going to take a little time for this thing to bleed off. You also wanted to look at Amazon, which I think probably would be a much better play. Of course, they missed their earnings. I would love to see Amazon spike up, even as this market comes back down. Maybe if you could get it 370, 375, I'd love to see part of this gap at least touched before I pulled the trigger on this thing short. But it may go down anyway. But just to be short or safe, you'd probably want to be in there if you could get 375, 385, and the volume remained light. I think you'd have a shot at it. But you need just a little bit more of a retrace, at least into that mid 375 range. probably to pull the trigger on it. I bet even though this thing's probably going to go against the market. My guess is if the market continues down like we've seen it here, that we're going to get an opportunity, but not a lot of easy ways out here. We had a caller, maybe it was in the den, asking about NWBO the other day, and this thing, again, another push up here, needs 100,000 shares, or 4.2 million shares from November 19th. And we saw a little pullback, gave a sell signal yesterday. Volume was decent. We're back up against these highs yet again today. But, boy, I tell you what, these stocks do look dangerous. We'll have to see how some of these. We were talking about phony baloney calls in the marketplace. There is a rumor out that Microsoft is going to pair with a Pandora. Basically, everybody laughed at it. This thing's way off of its high today at $39.58. I imagine if I read all the news out there, I'd probably hear 150 or 200 false stories today, which makes me think that is part of the scheme. Even just watching when the volume is being messed with for the markets, which we saw this morning. I've been bouncing emails back and forth with Tom, looking at his volumes, comparing them with some other stuff, actually going to the BATS trading website and re-engineering the broad volume off the markets there. And it's more than apparent to me, at least, that we are seeing some games being played out here. And anything below 1838 is a monster signal on this market. And I think we had one request for the Clarion song. And I'm not big on sound effects, but I like the clips a little bit better. But let's take a look quick at this thing. Well, we're at 1842. Would everybody be happy at 1838 if I play the Clarion sound then? And I'll just play a little bit of it so we know what we're talking about. Yep, we could play that, but we won't. Not just yet. We're going to wait for this thing to tick under 1838, and then I'll play it ad nauseum, probably just on a loop for the rest of the show. Anyway, thank you, Wayne, for emailing me. I don't think I have any phone calls yet, but you can call me at 877-927-6648. Had a bunch of ABC downs in the newsletter this morning, beyond just a lot of tests at previous highs. Whirlpool is one of the ones I was looking at out here, and we'll come back and we'll look at that after the break. But yeah, this certainly isn't a market that's going to make it easy on us. It's going to be rough, just like Tina Turner said it would be. How did she know? We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we'll look at a few stocks today. And I wanted to look at Target. Of course, they came out. Earnings were okay. Can't really say how much it's going to cost them to pay for the whole debacle with the credit cards. And in this market, even if you come out with horrible earnings, it's being rewarded. Certainly we're seeing that with Target. They came down, and I think you can still consider this low at 54.66 a high volume low. I just suspect we had far too many people short, and as soon as these people are bucked off, probably going to be a lot easier to find this thing moving back down, but give it a few days. Still probably one of the premier retailers, but you don't want to be in a stock that's too heavily short, and my guess is a lot of those shorts were Johnny-come-latelys, and probably are losing money on that side of it. Dollar Tree, another retailer, DLTR. And take a quick look at that. Boy, this thing's just making ABC downs as far as I can tell on this thing. Let's take a little better look at here. Maybe we got, yeah, I think you can make a fairly decent case. This is just making progressive, smaller ABC downs. Hang on just a second. And, yeah, I'm going to call that, let's go ahead and do an expansion here. I'm going to call that the A, and that low right there, the B, and Today's the C. And just so many of these huge candles, monster volume, blow off backs to the top. But yeah, it could take you back down to, probably went too far today, but could take you back fairly easily to the 49.59 level out here. What else do we have? CHK on my movers list here. And see. Chesapeake Energy. Let's see what the headlines on this are. Was it negotiating civil settlement with the Michigan Reuters? Misses by 12 cents on revenues. Daily production just up 2% year over year. So this thing's in a big trading range. Really didn't give you a lot of chance. You certainly have that high volume low that would have kept you out of being long this on February 7th, 36 million shares. And probably going to race to that. Let's even look a little farther back. Boy, I tell you what, that gap is there. Boy, you'd have to look at it at $24, but probably not a great short, but certainly looks interesting. Let's see what else we have moving out here. CLH. CLH missed. Where's my out there? Missed EPSs by 11 cents. So this is another disaster du jour. Basically blew through all the bottoms and massive volume out here. This thing is destroyed. Let's see. And does it not go back any farther than 3 years? Guess not. Anyway, this thing is, boy, you had 790,000 shares. You got 5.9 million shares and blowing through all the bottoms. Even if you go back, can I go back even 5? Do I have more? Kind of vaguely remember this thing being out much longer than this. Okay. So, yeah, where could you see this thing coming? It's blown through that low. That's there. That's blown through that. I'm pretty sure I can say that that one is 1.1 million shares. So you really don't have anything else back down to this $36, $37 level. So we can get that. Again, we got a question in here, a hand up. I'm liking the VAR on the short side, VAR. We'll take a quick look at that. Britain Medical Systems. Let's take a little closer look here. Just quickly. Now I see what you're looking at. He's looking at Varian Medical Systems. I think I actually had this in the newsletter last few days as one of the ones I've been watching. The test of January 23rd, $84.24, 2.3 million shares come into that the last 4 days. 863,553, 514, and 726,000, and we're headed back down for yesterday. Let's see what we have for today. Come on, little baby. Well, what is it, VAR? Take a quick look. VAR. Yeah, it's done 22 cents. Yeah, I think it's confirmed. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, Moody's and we're up in the mid. Lending bid on IBB is potentially topped. Well, let's take a quick look at IBB since some of the stuff, one too many B's. And we'll take a look at that. I can see what you're looking at. There is a potential out here. This thing, I mean, I've seen a lot of biotechs out here topping out, so we'll be watching that. IBB, what you'd like to see on this is probably under a 9-day moving average. So you still have a little bit of room to move before this thing breaks it. But, man, I tell you what, you have a nice pattern out here. If it does break the next 9 days, moving average, I'd say that you probably have a good chance. That's where I found. Okay. Just looking at some other stuff. Well, we'll go to some other stocks out here. TSCO, Tractor Supply. This thing's up a little bit on a down day. They had earnings out and a nice little gap up. But I tell you what, most of these things are looking more and more like ABC Downs than anything else. This one, let's take a quick look at it. Yeah, pretty nice setup out here to $54.82 on a 1-to-1 if today is the top. This thing came down on a little better volume. This thing's gone back, filled that gap, done a 55% retracement. So you have to be looking at this. Of course, anybody in retail now is a suspect. And I like this setup because you had heavy energy down. You didn't have a whole lot of energy on the way back up. And it has set up fairly nicely. EXP. Okay, what else do we have? We looked at that. FRGI. Fiesta, this one actually came up today. I thought maybe this one would be an ABC down. And we get volume in it. They have earnings. Yeah, beat by a penny this morning. Right, I guess last night. I was thinking this boy was another one of these ABCs that had set up actually till yesterday, and a nice little doji out there yesterday also, but up and on decent volume today. Electronic Arts is another one I've been watching out here, flailing around at the highs without a lot of volume. It's going up against the August 23rd high at $28.13, 6.2 million shares, and we got 3.5 million again today. And this thing looks like it's doing a little turtling, a little prairie dogging, going to come back into the trading range. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Let's take a look at some other stocks and how they've been doing. HD, of course, came out with their earnings, pounded up. Now, this is the one that I'm watching today because it certainly did pierce the previous high of January 2nd that had 12 million shares. It's done it with about 7 million so far. So probably going to come in light, certainly pulling back into the trading zone today, and maybe a good indication of what we have. Energy was just a little slight on the way up, just a little slight or a little higher on the way down. Not enough to really make me sing, but this thing does look like it is giving a sell signal, probably like the general market out here. So let's go back and check real quick on the futures and to see what we're doing out here. Now, we get down to this about 1482 level, and we find people coming in. Again, I'm looking at that 1838 level and below as a confirmation of that low. But it looks like there's a lot of people trying to defend a little bit lower out here, and maybe it is the street trying to hold and run the clock out until fund buying so that they have at least somebody else to sell to, since the general market out here isn't real receptive to finding markets that are closing or coming into that low. Anyway, Home Depot is one, Lowe's, L-O-W, is it L-O-W-E or L-O-W-E? It's just L-O-W, isn't it? For Lowe's, yeah. Nice gap up on this one. This is Lowe's company, which I think is a little different. What's, maybe people in the den, what's Lowe's itself? CRM, ready to crack? Take a quick look at that. Yeah, so no nice doji up here, but in light volume, but no real sell signal on that yet either. Salesforce.com, this thing's been going up on no volume for a while, since about $54, and wants to probably come back probably about $48 out here for this gap. But I tried to short on it and ended up $1.50 lighter, I think. Yeah, maybe some better plays out there. Let's take a look and see what we had from yesterday. APC, we were looking at this Anadarko Petroleum coming back up after a huge gap down on heavy volume. This pretty good chance that we're looking at the 73.60 low being tested fairly soon. That's the December 13th low of last year, 38 million shares. But up in a higher trading range. A few days ago, we saw that February 24th high come in on almost just a little bit more than the 50% volume I look for, but certainly the January 22nd high at $83.97 with 7.8 million shares got pierced, closed back below it, and have maybe the start of some continuation in APC today, but certainly it looks like those crack spreads are going to be lower. Acuity Brands, we talked about this one, and it's up on very light volume from this previous high, so we're going to be watching this one for the close. You want to see 136.46 for the close today or lower. Probably not going to get it in that one, but that'll it. Oh, got a call. Mike from Dallas. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great, thanks. I was just wanting to ask you if you could just take a moment and explain a little bit about what you're talking about when you go to the ABC.
Basically, it's a pattern, and you can also find an explanation on the TFNN website. I think if they haven't changed the website, there's a tab in there for charts, and you'll see some videos on it. But an ABC is a pattern, and it's A, B, C, D. And hang on just a second. Let me find one for my newsletter this morning, and I'll show you which one I'm thinking about. ANN. Let's take a look at that. I bet that thing hasn't done much. Okay. An ABC is like a lightning bolt, and it can be either up or down. But normally what happens is, are you watching on Tiger TV by chance?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
You get a nice move like this from the January 6th high up here at $39.13 on Ann Taylor. Okay, It goes all the way to $30.71 on February 5th. Okay, you want it to bounce maybe 38% of that move to somewhere between maybe a little less than 62% of that move. Okay, then the stock starts heading back down again, breaks the previous low, and does, if this is about a little less than $9 from that January 6th high to the February 5th low. So you take the C point, which is this February 26th high, and you'd subtract $9 off of it, which would take you back down to 27. And then you'd look back at 27 and say, hey, is there anything there? Is there a gap there, a high volume low? There is a previous low on April 19th. But I've got a program here that actually does it automatically. So hang on just a second as we do this, if everything's working here. Now, this is going to label the ABCs. In fact, let's just leave it there for a second so you can see it. But the January 6th high is labeled as A. You get the B, which is the low, the C, and what we're doing is implying where the D point would be if that pattern holds. We'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back on the line, and we've got Mike from Dallas. He probably new to TFNN, wanted to know what ABCs were. It's basically a kind of a lightning bolt pattern if you drew one on like a cartoon.
Okay.
But if you want to know about all the patterns and that we're pretty much talking about on TFNN, if you go to the front page, there are 4 tabs across the middle that say Listen Live, Newsletters, Upcoming Events. The last one says Charts.
Okay.
And then there's one that says Learn More. If you click on that, there's about 6 videos. They all have to do with the program we actually sell, but 3/4 of the videos are just about what the patterns are.
Okay.
And explaining the patterns. So if you look at all those videos, and I'm showing them up actually here on that, but you'll be able to see like ABC patterns, and it explains what they were and how they work. But yeah. We're trying to actually, the next ad we have coming out for this is going to kind of highlight these videos for new people at TFNN.
Okay.
But
well,
yeah, take a look at those. But it is basically a pattern, kind of like a lightning bolt, where the last leg is what we're speculating that the stock will do. And we're getting a projection, a mathematical projection of where we think that stock could go.
And that also works for the futures?
Yeah. I mean, this stuff works for pretty much everything. I tend to stay more on equities, but yeah, it works on futures and everything. And if you like what you see there, the next step is probably to buy Tom O'Brien's book, The Art of Timing the Trade, and this it goes really in depth into those, and probably the next step after that. Okay.
All right. Thank you so very much.
You bet. Now, anyway, we're showing, and I had a couple of questions. ALU, which is Alcatel-Lucent. This thing's had a nice run, mostly because they got a huge contract in China for the 400 cities that they're all going to have super high-speed internet between, while we plug along here in the United States. I don't know exactly what they're thinking about this. This thing's just probably in a trading range between $4 and $5. And my guess is it's going to take a year for that contract to go through. But all the good news is probably in Alcatel-Lucent. And what was the other one? INVN. INVN. And I'm trying to remember what this was all about. I looked at it during the break, and still had a problem. Come on. Oh, there we go. Let's clean that up a little bit. Man, one of the few stocks out here with a high volume high. You'd need that retested, but probably a trading range between $18 and $22. So I don't know if there's a whole lot here. I don't see anything ready to break out or go anywhere. We've got a few minutes left here, or just about a minute left. Let's take a look and see whether this market has decided to go. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, so we're at 1843.90. We've got 2.7 billion shares on the consolidated tape. That's certainly another push to a high on what's going to be lighter volume. You'd like to see probably 4.5, 5.5 billion shares to break this high out, and just don't have it now. So we'll have to see how this market closes at the end of the day. And the real problem is, can they hold it up in this area just long enough to get into fund buying in the next few days? We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but if this thing doesn't break below probably 1838 in the next few days, we may have yet another week of this thing going sideways like this. Hopefully, Tina Turner is not right. Anyway, remember to sell when you can, not when you have to, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.